Welcome. Let's solve this question on linear programming. A transporter targets or wishes to transfer 1000 bags of sugar to a go down. He has two types of lorries to use, FTR and a canter, with capacities of 80 bags and 20 bags respectively. The canter has to make at least twice as many trips as the FTR makes. The total number of trips made by both lorries must not be more than 30, and the canter has to make more than 10 trips. If X represents the trips made by the FTR and Y trips made by the canter, part A of the question, write down the inequalities to represent the above information. Part B, graph the inequalities above on the grid provided. And then part C, if the FTR uses 1,800 shillings per fuel per trip, while the canter uses 1,000 shillings per trip, use a search line to determine the maximum possible amount that can be spent on fueling the lorries. So those are the questions. Let's go to the first part where we're supposed to form the inequalities. So you're supposed to write from the above statement, write the inequalities to represent the above information. Let's go to the first statement. The transporter targets transfer 1,000 bags to a go down. Then he has two types of lorries use, that is the FTR, the canter. So there's the last statement there. X represents the trips made by the FTR. So and then Y, the trips made by the canter. So X. So you're going to write it here. So you're going to have FTR, the FTR, and for FTR makes X number of trips. So these are the trips. And then for the canter, makes Y trips. That is the first thing was to identify. Then from there, capacities are 80 bags. That is for FTR and a canter with capacities 80 and 20 bags respectively. So that means FTR has a capacity of 80, canter has capacity of 20. So FTR, the capacity 80 bags, and then the canter has 20 bags. So after writing that, now we can write the first inequality. Now having the capacities, we have FTR makes X number of trips, and for one trip carries 80 bags. Then canter makes Y trips, each trip 20 bags, that is the capacity. So from that statement we can get, since the transporter has to transport 1,000 bags, so the first inequality will be the bags that are going to be carried by FTR. So one trip 80 bags. So what about X trips? Those will be 80 times X, so those will be 80X bags. Then we add, since we want to get the total number of bags, for the canter it makes Y trips, and for one trip it has a capacity of 20 bags. One trip 20 bags. So what about Y trips? That will be 20Y. So 80X plus 20Y represents now the total number of bags carried by the FTR and the canter. And we given from that statement he has to transfer 1,000 bags. So this represents the total number of bags. So this should be 1,000. So the inequality symbol that we're supposed to insert there, because he has 1,000 bags of sugar to transport, is either he transports less than 1,000 or equal to 1,000 bags. So it cannot exceed. The FTR and the canter cannot transport more than 1,000 because the bags available are 1,000. So he has transport either less than 1,000 or 1,000, that is less than or equal to 1,000. That is the first one. The second inequality. So the first inequality is here, 80X plus 20Y, that is the number of bags, should be less than or equal to 1,000. That is the first one. The second one, the canter has to make at least twice as many trips as the FTR. The canter, remember, the number of trips for the canter is Y. So Y is the number of trips for the canter. Given that the canter has to make at least twice as many trips as the FTR. FTR makes X number of trips. So the number of trips by canter at least means greater than or equal to twice, that is the inequality sign you're supposed to insert there. The number of trips made by the counter, which is y, should be at least that is greater than or equal to twice the number or twice as many trips as the FTR. FTR makes x trips, so it should be greater than or equal to 2x. That is the second inequality. Then the other one is the total number of trips made by both lorries must not be more than 30. Must not be more than 30. Total number of trips. So total number of trips means for the counter is x. Then we add, that is a sum, the number of trips made by the counter, y. So FTR trips are x. Then the trips made by the counter, y. This sum must not be more than 30. So must not be more than 30 means what? It either be less than or equal to 30, but must not be more than 30. So that means should be less than or equal to 30. The next so that is the equality symbol you're supposed to write there. So x plus y, that is the sum of the total number of trips made by the FTR and the counter, not be more than 30. That is less than or equal to 30. Then the other one is and the counter has to make more than 10 trips. The counter has to make more than 10 trips. The counter, number of trips made by the counter is y. So when you're given that this one, it has to make more than 10. More than 10 means greater than 10. Greater than 10. That is the inequality. Then from there, I think we have exhausted. Those are the inequalities we're supposed to make. Then you can add others because we are dealing with the number of trips. They should be non-negatives. Number of trips made by the FTR and the counter should be non-negative. So you can add this one, that number of trips made by the counter by FTR x should be greater than or equal to 0. Then y should be greater than or equal to 0. That the number of trips made by the FTR should be greater than or equal to 0. They should be non-negatives, and y the same. So you can add these. They're also very important. After doing that, we're supposed to graph the inequalities on the grid provided. How do you graph these? So to graph these ones, this is what you're going to do. We're going to have the first one. The first one we can simplify. We can simplify 80x plus 20y less than 1000. And when you simplify that, we shall have 8x plus 2y is less than or equal to 100. That is when we divide. I've divided everything by 10 first. So dividing everything by 10, you can still simplify it further. But let me see whether it is possible. But I can still use it like this. There's no problem. You can, if you decide to simplify it further by dividing everything by 2, it is still okay. You can divide this one by 2, this one by 2, this one by 2, and you get this one is 4x plus y less than or equal to 50. And the line that you're going to draw here is 4x plus y is equals to 50. That is the line that you're going to draw. Draw a straight line. You require at least 2 points. Draw that. So as I have 2 points. So when x is 0, y will be 50. And then when x is 10, y will be 10. This will be 40. 50 minus will be okay. So those 2 points can give you a straight line. So let's go to the other one. The second one is a y. This line here, y is greater than or equal to 2x. The line you're going to draw there is y is equals to 2x. So again, let's have at least 2 points. So we can have when x is 20, y will be 40. Choose any 2 points that you wish to. Then when x is 30, y will be 60. Then we can go to the third one. That one is the line you're going to draw. This one, x plus y. X plus y is equals to 30. So again, we have points here. Points when x is 0, y is 30. When y is 0, x is 30. And it's okay. And then we have the last one here. The last one, y is greater than 10. The line that you're going to draw is y is equals to 10. When I look at all these lines, the only line that you're going to check is this. This will be a broken line or dotted line. This will be broken line since greater than 10. This will be a continuous line. The first one will be a continuous line. The second continuous line, broken line. So now let's go to the graph. Let's go to the graph. You can choose a suitable scale, any suitable scale. So those are the axes, the x-axis. We have the y-axis. So we have this one is 0. I'll use 5 will be okay. This is 5. We have 10, 15, 20, 25, 1 centimeter represent 5, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 and 60, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 and 60. So for the y-axis, remember y, what was y? It was y. Y was canter, bags carried by canter. Number of bags by the canter. This is number of bags by the canter. And for the x-axis, these are number of bags by the FTR bags. Now we can plot. We can begin with the first one, which is the first line 0, 50. So 0, 50, 10, 10. 0, 50, and then 10, 10. This one. This is the first line. Since it is continuous, so that is the first line. This line, yeah. This line 4x plus y is equals to 50. 4x plus y is equals to 50. And then we go to the second line. Second line is here. This line that is here. Y is equals to x. 20, 40, 30, 60. 20, 40. We plot that 20, 40. So 20, 40 is here, and it's 20, 40 and 30, 60. 30, 60 is there. Join these. So that is the line. So that line is y is equals to 2x. Then you go to the other line. X plus y is line. X plus y is equals to 30. 0, 30 and that is 0. So 0, 30 there. 0, 30 and that is 0 is here. So we join. So this line is x plus y is equals to 30. So we have this line which is x plus y is equals to 30. We plotted these 2 points, 0, 30 and that is 0 here. So the other line is y is equals to 10. So the other line is here, down here. Y is equals to 10 is here. So y is equals to 10. That will be a broken line. We had noted that. Y is equals to 10. So we draw it here. It will be broken line. So that is the line. Y is equals to 10. Now we've drawn all the lines. Now what is remaining now is shading the unwanted areas, unwanted parts. And this is how we do it. We shall start with this line. Y is equals to 10. So remember the inequality was y is greater than 10. Y is greater than 10. So greater than, we require the upper side. The upper side is the one that has values greater than 10. So the unwanted side is below that line. Below that line, y is equals to 10. So that is the unwanted side. So we shade the unwanted sides. We go to the other line. Let's consider this line. Here y is equals to x. Y is equals to 2x is here. So the inequality is y is greater than 2x. So to know the side that you're supposed to shade, y, let me use pointer. Y is greater than or equal to 2x. We can pick a point on either side of that line. For example, I can pick like a point that is here 0, 20 and like 0, 20. Substitute in this inequality. Y is 20 and 2x, 2 times 0, 0. So is that making sense? 220 is greater than or equal to 0. It is greater than, so meaning that side where I've picked, that point satisfies. It satisfies the inequality. So 0, 20, that side, this side of that line satisfies the inequality. So meaning this is the unwanted side, the other side is the unwanted side. We can't have two sides satisfying the inequality. So automatically you shade the opposite side, since a point that you've picked on the other side of the line, which is 0, 20, has satisfied that inequality. Now let's go to the other one. The other line is here. This line, x plus y is equals to 30. So the inequality was x plus y. The inequality was x plus y is, what is it? This one, less than or equal to, less than or equal to 30. So we can pick a point on this side of the line. I can pick, for example, 0, 0. 0, 0 is a point. Then substitute here x, 0, y, 0. So x plus y will be 0 less than or equal to 30. So 0 is less than 30. So that one satisfies. So meaning this side where I've picked point has satisfied the inequality, meaning the other side is the unwanted. So this side, you shade the upper side, since on the other side I've picked 0, 0, it has satisfied the inequality. That. Then we go to the other line, the last one, this line that is here, 4x plus y. This one was the first one we simplified, is here, less than or equal to 50, less than or equal to 50. So we can still pick 0, 0 point on this side. So when I pick 0, 0 and I substitute where we have x with 0 and y with 0, I'll have 0 is less than or equal to 50. That side satisfies 0 is less than 50. So side satisfies the inequality. So on this line, this side satisfies. So we are going to shade the other side. We shade the other side of the line. So since a point that we've picked that is 0, 0 on the opposite side, it has satisfied the equality. So now when you look at whatever you have shaded, we are remaining with the part, is a part that you're remaining with, and also this side. Remember, all of this side is supposed to be shaded. So we are remaining with the part that is unshaded, and that part is here. Look at this part. This part is referred to as the required region or the feasible region. This part that is here. So we have shaded all the other parts. This part is the one that a point that you're going to pick on this region will satisfy all the inequalities. Now we have graphed the inequalities. Let's go to the other question. Now part C is about optimization. If FTR uses 1,800 per fuel per trip, while Canter uses 1,000 per trip, use a search line to determine the maximum possible amount that can be spent for fueling. So that is the process of maximization. And maximize, this is what you're going to do. So we have 180 for FTR, or not 180 but 1800. We are going to have an objective function from that. So this is how the objective function will be. So let me displace here. So the objective function will be, look at FTR uses 1800. So number of trips per trip. So number of trips for FTR was x. So that will be 1,800x plus 1,000 per trip for the Canter. Remember the trips made by the Canter were y. So the fuel amount will be 1,000 times y. This is what is going to give us the cost of fuel. That is what is going to give us the cost. So this is what we call the objective function, and this is what you're going to use to determine the maximum possible amount spent on fueling. So this is what we do. The easiest way to draw a such line is by getting the least common multiple of 1800 and 1000. We get the least common multiple of 1800 and 1000, which is the LCM will be 9000. So we take 1800x plus 1000y is equals to the LCM that we got, which is 9000. We can simplify this one by dividing all through by 100. We get, this will be 18x plus 10y. We are dividing everything by 100. You get 90. We can as well continue simplifying this one further. We can simplify that one further. So we can simplify this one further by dividing it by 2. This will be 9x plus 5y is equals to 45. Now this is the equation, the search line that you're going to draw, and so that is called the search line, and we need just 2 points to draw that. Just 2 points are enough. So when x is 0, y will be 9. When y is 0, x will be 5. So we just need to plot this graph. On our graph, we're going to plot 0, 9 and 5, 0. So 0, 9 is here, and 5, 0 is here. So the search line will be here. So this is the search line. This is a search line. Now this is what you're going to use to know the maximum possible cost. To do that, we shall use set square. So make sure you have a set square and a ruler. set square and a ruler, and you place it like this. Make sure you place the straight edge of the set square along this straight line. This is such line here, and the ruler should be firm. So once you're in that position, you slide towards the region, the required region, that is the unshaded region. You slide towards that region. So make sure you place the ruler firmly, and then the set square should be lying straight. The straight edge of the set square should lie on that straight line. Don't move the ruler, just slide the set square. Now as you move towards the required region, look at the set square as it leaves the required region. Check at the last point that it touches as it leaves that region. This is the point. This is the last point that the set square touches as it leaves that feasible region. Let me slide again. So slide it like that. Check the last point that is touched. This is the last point that is touched as it leaves the feasible region, and that will give us the maximum profit. So this is the maximum cost. So get the coordinates of this point. This point will be, when you look at it, this point will be, this will be 7, will be 7, 7, 7, this is a 21, 22, 23, 723, 723, that is 723. So the point is 723. That is the maximum point that is going to give us the maximum cost. That is the point that is going to give us the maximum cost. So we go to the objective function. So the point is 723. So that is x. X is 7. So that means that x is 7, y is 23. So this means that we have x. X refers to the number of trips made by the FTR. So those are 7 trips. And Y, the trips made by the counter, those will be 23 trips. Those are the ones that are going to give us the maximum cost. So to get the maximum cost now, we just substitute it here. So we have 1800. X is 7. Then plus 1000. Y is 23. So we use a calculator to work out that. And that will give 35,600. That is the maximum fuel cost.